Hello! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Julianne and I am in the midst of a project to read all of the books that I own. Every single one, and it is going to take me a long time, but I am determined to do it. It's going to take me a very long time because I used to be a book blogger who got sent lots of free books, and I had lots of friends who were book bloggers who also got sent lots of free books, and we would trade them with each other after we'd read them. And yeah, along the way I acquired a mammoth TBR, hundreds and hundreds of books. So this is going to be a long haul project, but if you think that it will be interesting to you, please do subscribe and follow along. Today I am doing something I should have been doing ages ago, and that is putting on my ring light to film. I never used to use it for vlogging because I just hated the fact that you can see the ring light in my eyes, but hey, we're gonna go with this for the sake of better lighting slash laziness. So anyway, welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. In today's video I'm going to be talking about my plans for 2024 and specifically January, but also the first quarter, because it's all sort of become intertwined. So around the time that I started this Zero TBR project, I also started a project to read through all of my kind of backlog of Illumicrate books. So Illumicrate, if you don't know, is a book subscription box. I used to be subscribed to get the full box, and then last year I changed it to book only because I just could not handle having any more assorted book stuff in my house. They produce really gorgeous items, but I had reached the peak. I had reached the peak. Anyway, my friend Debbie suggested that I could read each month the books from previous months of different years, if that makes sense. So for example, like in September, I could read all of the previous September's Illumicrate books I hadn't read yet. And I was really good at this for 1 month. I was sort of okay at it for the second month, and then the wheels started to come off. I did sort of recommit at the start of November, but I made a really bad choice. If you want to hear more about that, you can watch my November vlog, especially the end, which is where I talk about this, where I just didn't really think that through when I made that commitment. I was going to try and read all of the November and December books in November without thinking what I might actually want to read in November and December, which is comics and Christmas books. So yeah, this year I thought, how can we make this work? And I thought about the numbers of books that each month has, and I realised what the problem was that some months were fine. It was a manageable number of books. It was just like 3 or 4 or 5 maybe. Other months had far too many books, and that's because Illumicrate used to be quarterly. So for several years there were only 4 Illumicrate boxes a year, and so those months of the year, because it was the same months each year, have just so many more books than the others. And I was like, okay, how can I make this work? And I hit on the most obvious solution of them all, which I should have thought of before, and that is to do it on a quarterly basis. So my reading the backlog project is now quarterly. Before I started, I actually went through and I made a list of every single outstanding Illumicrate book, and I divided them by quarter so that I could see how many I had to read. And in Q1 I have 16 past Illumicrate books to read. Now imagine if that was like a good percentage of that was all in 1 month. It just feels impossible, right? But 16 books over 3 months feels really doable, especially to me who read 200 books last year. I hate to brag, who am I kidding? I love to brag, in the words of Spike from Buffy. I'm really happy about that. 16 just feels doable, right? And even if I manage 10, that's only rolling over 6 to the next year or whenever else I might read them. And then Q2 I only have 7 books to read, Q3 I only have 9, Q4 I have 19. So I might try and get ahead on Q4 if I have some time. But overall, I'm feeling so much more positive about it divided into quarters because it just feels doable and I have all of that time, right? And I've also decided that I have choice, right, as well. I can read whatever books that I want to read from that selection in whatever order I want. When I was doing it month by month, it was really restrictive because some months there were only a few books to read, months there were like 7, but it was still like quite a short list. Whereas 16, that's quite a lot, right? That's like plenty of choice. I'm really excited about it. I'm not actually reading any of those books right now because I decided I need to finish my Christmas reading first. So at the point at which I'm recording this video, I have actually read almost all of the Christmas books I wanted to read. I have one which I'm partway through, so I'm feeling really good about that. Otherwise, my goal for 2024 really is to focus on my print books and to get off of Audible. Audible has been a real stumbling block in this Zero TBR journey because I signed up for a trial last Christmas, I think it was, because there were some books that I wanted to read on the Plus catalogue. And then I got really into the Plus catalogue, and the Plus catalogue has been my downfall. I have really drilled down the books I actually want to read from the Plus catalogue, and there is only like a dozen or so. This got slightly exploded when all of the Murder Blot Diaries books by Martha Wells got put on there. Lizzie Huxley Jones pointed this out on Instagram, and I was like, oh no. My beautiful tiny curated Audible list, but most of those are novellas, so they shouldn't take me that long to listen to really. I can probably knock off a couple a week, and then we're in business. If I could get off of Audible by the end of this quarter, I will be really, really pleased. So yeah, that's my other goal for this quarter, get off of Audible, because it's just really getting in the way. It's getting in the way of me enjoying library books, it's getting in the way of me enjoying print books, because I feel like I have to get rid of Audible as soon as possible so I can stop paying for it. And like I could just cancel now, but then I would not get to listen to those books on the Plus catalogue. So yeah, there we are. I have to listen to those. I really want to listen to them. So that is what it is. Otherwise, 2024, I have set my goal at 200 books again. I feel like I've kind of achieved it once. I feel much more relaxed about it now. Last year it was kind of like a pipe dream. It was like at some point in my life I would like to hit this goal. It had been my goal for a couple of years because I worked out once that in order to read as many books as I would really like to read over the course of my life, I needed to read a lot more. And I settled on 200 because I thought like that felt doable, but I wasn't sure if I would be able to do it whilst having a full-time job, whilst writing. And then I discovered the joy of reading lots of graphic novels, which makes hitting that goal a lot easier. And you know, some might say that was cheating, but I don't actually consider it cheating because it's encouraged me to read more graphic novels, and I have loved reading all of the graphic novels that I have been reading. I truly, truly have. So I'm going to leave it at 200, and I'm not going to judge. I can't really imagine there being a point in my life where I can read 200 books a year, and that doesn't include graphic novels. I really would not be doing much else in my life other than reading if I wasn't heavily relying on graphic novels and things like children's books and novellas that are quicker. But there we go. So those are my goals. Read my 16 past Illumicrate books for this quarter, get off of Audible, and just read as much as possible in the hopes that I might come somewhere near 200, but I'm not going to bet on it, and I'm certainly not going to try. Although if we get to the last couple of months of the year and I'm close, then bring me all the graphic novels. I'm going to try and go for it again because I just cannot resist a nice round number. There we go. I don't know if I will do planning in February. I suppose it depends on how I feel. I might just leave this as like planning for Q1 if I don't feel like I need to plan for February. But then if I have read a lot of Illumicrate books this month, then I might want to plan for February. Equally, if I haven't read any, then I might want to plan for February. So we'll see how we get on. We'll see if that video transpires. And if you want to find out whether it does or not, please keep watching and subscribe, as I mentioned earlier. Thank you so much for watching. You'll see me again soon. Please let me know in the comments if you were doing a TBR 0 or similar project. I would love to chat about it. Bye!